Hi, and welcome to the final part of the NNPC Graduate Trainee Recruitment Exercise Series for 2025. I hope you have enjoyed and learned from the previous videos. Today, we're going to speak about the interview, and I am excited. Our guest is still here with us. So, in December ending, an email was sent to selected applicants that made it for the interview stage, and I'm going to read the email. Dear first name, last name, applicant's number. Further to our earlier correspondence notifying you of the planned interview dates for the NNPC 2024 external recruitment exercise, please find below details of your interview. Candidate number and then the interview date, venue, which was the headquarters in Abuja, accreditation time 7 a.m., session starts 9 a.m. You are required to come along with both original and one set of photocopies of the underlisted document. 1. SSCE certificate, first degree certificate, master's degree, and professional certificate/membership where necessary. 2. NYSC certificate. 3. Government recognized birth certificate or declaration of age. 4. Government issued means of identification, for example, national ID card, driver's license, international passport, etc. You're also required to log into the portal, print out a copy of this invitation letter, clearly showing the barcode and candidate's picture, and come along with it. Note: failure to provide any of the required documentation listed above will result in disqualification. Candidates' interview dates and time will not be changed or rescheduled in the event they miss their appointments. Vehicles will not be allowed in the premises as there are limited parking spaces. Vehicles parked outside the premises are entirely at owner's risk. Laptops are not required for this exercise and should not be brought along. All candidates with certificates in languages other than English and or classifications different from the conventional classifications of degree in brackets, first class, second class, upper or lower degrees, are required to present official transcripts, interpretation of such certificates during the interview exercise. Please be reminded that NNPC Limited reserves the right to discontinue your application if at any stage of the process you fall short of this requirement. And then, of course, for questions and assistance, you have contact information, and we wish you the best in the next phase of the exercise. So exciting. We're finally here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into it. How did you prepare for the interview? How did you feel coming, how did you feel knowing you were selected for the interview?
Wow. It's
Ha.
It was like we can't mess this up. That was the way it felt. Because I had successfully completed previous trainee programs, had experienced certain experiences at workplaces. So having followed this graduate trainee journey so far, because doing the CBT is not bad, but there's a level of seriousness that comes when you make it past CBT.
Yeah. It feels like one leg in.
Exactly. It feels like one foot in the door. Because you know that certain people were dropped and it wasn't for sentimental reasons.
Yeah.
It was because there was a clear metric that people made or people defined by the way they answered their questions. So there was a level of seriousness, but there was also a level of peace and calm. I just had to keep reassuring myself with that. The more you think about the severity of moments, the potential for it to overwhelm you is there. But you could also look at it with the eyes of, I've made it thus far, and I most likely could make it even further. So that was the mood and the atmosphere I had. So once again, the mail required that the exercise would take place in Abuja. At that time, I was in Port Harcourt, so I had to travel again to Abuja. So I came into Abuja, and before then, I'd already been trying to make very subtle steps towards my preparation. When I came into Abuja, I still had quite some time, at least about a week to prepare. So I wasn't coming in a hurry like the way I'd handled my CBT. And even when I handled my CBT, I was not really in a hurry. I didn't feel hurried. So the way I prepared was primarily to continually have people around me ask me questions. I'd had this experience before, or these experiences before, where I have to be interviewed and I'm asked questions almost like all the time: introduce yourself, tell me about yourself. And it was almost like that has to be a question you must know how to answer, as
Yeah.
much as sometimes it doesn't feel like a question that you just say the answer is A, the answer is B. It's a question where you have to think about what you are saying, and you also should be truthful or honest about it, because it shows in the way you present it. If you really think of yourself the way you talk about yourself. So, excuse me. So, one of the key things I did was that regularly having people ask me questions, and those questions were questions that they felt I could be asked in a mock scenario, that this is likely what you'll be asked. So also there were there was attention to knowing more about the industry, knowing more about the company. So I was in a situation before where I didn't do too well in a graduate trainee exercise because I was not well informed about the company. So I didn't know a lot of technical things like what does the company do, the company's vision, the company's mission, their values, how do they make money, what's the key business, some people that are influential or in leadership in the company, things like that, or even sections, sectors, departments in the company, and maybe where I think I could fit in. So I had to also spend a lot of time to look at that. And also the NNPC Limited is in the energy sector, and one of the things I clearly understand about those companies is their attention to safety. So I also realized that it would be good to brush up on things about how I'm safety conscious, how I know how to manage myself in that kind of environment, what are some of the unspoken rules about safety that they adhere to on a day-to-day basis, or even when they want to carry out specific operations. So I think the other interesting ways we prepared, that the way other persons assisted me. There was a friend that also was to have the interview, and on a particular day, myself and himself, we said, let's practice. And then he brought out his phone, and then he says to this AI model, I believe it was Chat GPT, and he says, I want you to conduct a mock interview for me and my friend, where you ask us questions. And the AI was just doing, okay, what do you want me to ask you questions on? I know, what is this? So it was an experience, and it was exciting also. And the way it was that the AI will ask my friend, and I'll say, okay, answer. So my friend will answer, and many a times the AI model will say something like, okay, that answer you gave was good, but you could make it much better by saying, and then say this, say this, say this, say this. So after my friend answers, the AI model will now say, okay, now hand over the phone to your friend and let your friend attempt it. Also, it was quite fun. Initially, we were just looking at ourselves and say, "Chai, what have we done?" Because we felt like it was a serious
Yeah.
moment because the questions were not just cheap questions, they were real critical questions. So I think the last part of preparation, of course, I prayed, but when I speak about in trying to know how to tackle questions and certain things, my date was not the very first date. So they scheduled people for days.
Earlier.
Yeah, so I believe I was the second day
Okay.
scheduled for interview. So people that had gone ahead, there was the privilege of hearing from
Oh, I
them.
see.
What was your experience like? Had someone who was on WhatsApp platforms and also trying to find out, hey, how did it go for those of you that went in today? So those information also kind of gave me an idea of what I could expect. I believe very key to preparation is having expectations. High expectations are good if you know you can also meet them, if you are prepared to meet them, and also not having low expectations so that you don't come in and you are underprepared. So I think just an aggregation of these many things was quite key to helping me ace and get into the interview.
Wow, that's interesting. So clearly, you shared that you put a lot of preparation in, getting help from humans, from people that went ahead maybe a day earlier, and also getting help from technology, doing in-depth research about company knowledge, which I can tell requires a lot of dedication and maybe sometimes even memorizing certain things
Oh, yeah, sure.
just to ensure that it sticks. So yeah, I'm grateful that you shared, and I appreciate the level of detail and dedication you put into learning and understanding company knowledge. So my next question, what did you wear?
Wow.
And what would you advise people to wear? I know like there were different feedbacks about people dressing and
Yeah.
yeah. So talk to us about dressing and then we'll get into the main thing.
Okay, so I'm a young man, and one of
They
the
ask you what
things,
you wore, not whether you're young or old or single
oh, well, it's good to know so that when I mention what I mention, you know that I'm talking about men, but also I could say a few things for ladies.
Mm.
All right. So, one of the key things I understand from this kind of engagement, especially professional settings, is that dressing is key. It's almost like coming to the warfare front with a gun and choosing to come with a pencil. Like people just look at this person and say, "Oh, why are you coming with a pencil? Don't you know we came to fight?" So that's how serious your dressing is. And another thing for dressing before I go to the specifics is it helps you a lot with your confidence. It boosts your confidence level because you have moments where you could be looking at your shoelace or your unpolished shoe, or you're without a tie, and then you see one or two people the way they are dressed, and it gives you the impression that wow, so this thing is serious. And he now shouts for you, saying, you see yourself, you're serious. So you want to come into the event or the occasion with your weapon. And when I say weapon, I'm saying that you are dressed up. So for me, what I did was I had been in some of these exercises before, but much more than that, I believe is very key for any person going for these events is wear something that you have proven and tested. So if you have, let's say, shirts, you just feel, there are days you wear certain clothes and you just feel like you are the best in the room, even though your account may be empty, but the moment you put on that dress, you
The
move
confidence level.
exactly. Your confidence level is just somewhere
Yeah.
else. So that's one of the things you must think about. But as much as you do wear a dress you like and you are comfortable in, one of the things you need to also consider is if it's for a shirt, it's very advisable you wear a white shirt, a plain white shirt for men. Uh, Light blue is also good. It's also good. You don't want to wear a shirt with domineering colors like you wear black or you wear one blood red shirt. It says a whole lot, and there are things that you can call the unspoken rule. One of the unspoken rules for professional settings is it will be advisable you wear a white shirt, a light blue shirt. And if you at all may want to wear a shirt that has stripes, the stripes should be minimal. It shouldn't be very thick stripes that make it look like it's a corporate casual shirt. So you want to your shirt or your top or your torso wants to appear plain. So when it comes to your trousers, you want to wear something black, something dominating. You want to wear black, you want to wear blue, you want to wear gray.
What of the blood red?
No, you don't want to wear the blood red. So that's also another unspoken rule. When you want to dress, those are the colors you should think about. Blue, especially a deep blue, a dark black, and maybe a gray trouser. But also you should look at the way it matches with the kind of shirt you are wearing. But I think the very simple advice for anybody is wear a black trouser, wear a plain white shirt, and then get a good tie. So for myself, I had some nice navy blue trouser. I had plain white shirts, and please take time to iron your shirts. It goes a long way. Then also one of the should I say super tips that you can take advantage of is get a jacket, get a tie. Those things may feel demanding for the occasion. You say, why will I have to dress like this? Why do I need to wear tie? It will be choking me. But those are but those are subtle things that actually boost your self-esteem and even make you very or make people interpret you like you know why you are here and you are serious about it. Because I saw young people that you could tell it was as if they just came out.
They forced them to come.
It just it just it just came out from the boss or something. It wasn't great. You don't want to wear all manner of stylish shirts. You also did not come there to impress people. You came
To get something.
exactly to get
To
something.
get something. If you don't give them, how will they take it?
And also, if you can get a wristwatch, not compulsory, but it's good if you can. It would be good to have a wristwatch on your left hand. And also for your shoes, a good black shoe would do. Brown shoes also would do. Polish your shoes well or shine them, but don't make it look like you poured olive oil on your shoe. And lace your shoes if they have laces, and preferably wear lace shoes. And you can either tuck in your laces or make sure that you knot them in a way that while you walk, they don't fall off or loosen themselves. Then your face, your hair, oil yourself. Don't lubricate yourself, but let it be clear that you are not white, you're not dry. Exactly. Your hair to comb it, tidy it. Some of these guy or style that young men do, I think just for that day, you can just put it aside. Have a good, you don't need to cut yourself with the clipper and you look like you are polished with stone, but you could just trim your hair such that it's not untidy. So that was the way I came in. Had this blazer jacket that was blue, so it matched with it wasn't the exact blue with my trouser, but it had some brightness in comparison to the kind of trouser I wore. Then there was this tie I wore that almost everybody wanted to just pull the tie from my neck because
wow, it must be choking.
the tie was I've never worn the tie before. I've not worn the tie before. I found it at a store for like 4 or 5 or so, but when I asked some people the price of the tie, they were thinking it was 100 and something. So get something good and quality.
Did you iron it? Did you wash it? What did you do to it?
I think I just looked at it. If it
It
wasn't,
just looked good on you.
yeah, if it wasn't straight, I believe I straightened it just a little bit, but I didn't. So that's the last thing about the dressing. Don't be excessive about it. Don't try to overdo it, because if you feel that the swag or the steez you come in with, if you feel like it's touched or it's damaged, it could also tamper with your confidence.
Yeah, and self-esteem. Sure.
So for ladies, I believe the girls really know what to do, but just